But
Wait a minute.
Two confessions.
I have a confession. I got to get it out of my system. You're the first hearing this. I've never told this to anybody since we were talking about recreational psychedelic drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I took some window pane once, not a lot.
Yeah, that would
Have to be a lot.
I got to etch a sketch.
I wouldn't have been trying to do
No,
the
what
extra.
sketch? And you talk about forgetting how to breathe.
Yeah,
I sneezed, but I couldn't remember if I needed to breathe in or breathe out.
that's what happened.
So-
it confuses you.
Yeah.
That's all.
You
It
guys
just
don't try what I. No,
Yeah,
you guys-
it
I don't want-
messed me up.
don't put that on TikTok.
It messed me up.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good wherever you're at. Welcome to another great episode of Old Black Men Conversation. My name is David Harold Dudley III, aka Sweet Sonny, aka Keiki, aka That's Who I Am, and you are.
I'm the real Cliff Barnes. Just happy to be here.
And I'm oh, did I step on you?
No, go ahead.
I'm
go ahead.
Gary Green, street philosopher. I have some words of wisdom at the end of the show I will share with you. So I suggest you go get your Book of Clinton Bibles out, and you can read along with me.
And I'm
Okay.
Jake, the real Jake, the drummer Jake. Pretty much boy wonder.
And our special guest today.
And
Nah, everybody, anybody who comes through is
you
part
know,
of the.
we all in the same family and everything. Except y'all didn't mention Sugar Bear.
Oh, we did that a while, so you must have missed that part. But Mr. Green, our street philosopher, is also known as, or used to be known as, Sugar Bear. And everyone goes, well, what is Sugar Bear? Who is Sugar Bear? Post Sugar Krispies had a big bear on there with a big head and a big body, and he looked just like
I
him.
like the bear.
And we used to say, can't get enough of that sugar crisp. Sugar crisp. Can't get enough of that sugar crisp all night long. Put that milk in it, you know. What?
You know that, love.
You forgot verse 2?
Key change. Key change and then verse 2.
Yeah. Well, you know, this ain't exactly 19 when he was Sugar Bear, so.
Yeah, that was 19. That was last century.
Oh, they gotta know.
Yeah.
They gotta know.
Okay, I got a question. I got a question that's bugging the hell out of me. What the hell is wrong with Sean Kemp?
I just asked him the same damn thing. Sean Kemp was fine.
Hey,
I couldn't have to explain it to me.
I don't know. It
He's
was just,
fine, man.
they just had him on camera, apparently shooting at another car. So I guess
Three pointer right there. He was like, there they go, there they go.
they were both driving by each other.
That don't make no kind of sense to
That's
me.
because we know
in
what
no
his
kind
nature
of world.
is.
I don't get it.
He's not
No.
that kind. He
I don't
doesn't
get
have that dark nature like
So
that.
I guess the question is, since we've last seen or were familiar with Sean Kemp, what do we really know about him lately?
He's got weed stores.
Okay.
So
He has
we
one
know he's
and
smoking.
the other one
He's smoking.
Okay.
on both sides of downtown.
But the thing is my thing is, this is a big brother. He's 7 feet. He weighs 300 plus pounds.
He wasn't no
He has
feet.
that head.
6'11".
You see him, and you can't miss him. Okay.
Even when he's driving.
And
That look.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
You got that Steven Adams look.
I mean, they have a drive by, and 2 hours later they go and arrest him. Nobody else but him. How can you be out like that, Negro?
Because
You're gonna be recognizable no matter where you go.
Being black and wealthy, you know. he's always gonna be a target to somebody out there because he's coming on. The
Okay,
up,
be
the up,
be
you
okay,
know,
be smart
when it
about
comes
it.
to that money, you know.
Wait a
Well,
minute, be
They're
smart
gonna
about
use
it.
anything against
He's
him they can.
53 years old.
I'm gonna wait till I hear more of the story, because you know how the news is. They
I
wanna grasp
do.
the first thing.
I do,
Yeah,
but
they didn't know.
but
They
again,
didn't have all the details.
They didn't have
but
that.
again,
Yeah.
why would he put himself in that position to even be associated
Well,
with that?
Well, then that's like saying, you know, what's with him and weed, man. You know.
Well,
No,
we know
but
what's
the-
in people him.
Well, that's what got him associated with it
No, but
because
the-
that
but the
became
thing
a
is,
Yeah.
number one drug.
it's like that kid that plays for the Grizzlies. He took
Oh, the
a-
crazy one?
Ja Morant. He took a picture and he's up there waving a little pistol in the video.
Yeah, I actually seen the
And
video.
then
He
what
did
they
it.
get stopped at the
He
airport.
did it. It wasn't alleged. He
No,
did it.
they had he okay, all right. Take a selfie, make it look like me. I'm taking it. Okay. And then he started waving a gun. He had a little pistol. Looked
Yeah,
like it might have been a little 25.
25 or
Yeah,
so.
just a little, you know, and now he's 23.
Yeah.
Sean is 53.
And
So, I mean, you would think that having been on the planet 5 decades,
Mhm.
you would
People
be a little
know.
smarter than a kid who's just barely old enough to go out drinking with the
They had
rest of
the
the
camera.
team.
They had
you're
the
making an
CTI
assumption. Sean Kemp
CT
played
camera.
basketball.
They had that
Yeah, he
He
happening
didn't teach physics.
at the
So-
same time.
No.
They had a
But I-
license plate. They had a license plate. That's all they had on him.
No, but the whole thing is, what I'm saying is, maturity-wise, you know, it's like every time you see old gangbangers that have survived the gang life,
Exactly.
they're in their 50s and their 40s, and now they're going, yeah, I want to help turn around the youngsters follow me. So, where's the maturity?
Sometimes you don't get. Maybe he's pissed off. Sean's Kemp is associated with weed stores, but last time I checked, he doesn't own the weed store.
Yeah,
He's
he's
just using his name.
his name, yeah.
Maybe there was a dispute about had to do with weed. and ownership.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
You
what
know?
was the connection there? You know?
Actually, the one mistake he made when you
Getting
were
caught.
wearing all that red,
That's true.
wearing all, he
That's-
couldn't say it wasn't me, Sean. You're the only thing out there that tall with the red on.
Well, he was
He didn't know what the red
but he
on.
was sitting in the car. He's still
Was-
big,
yeah.
sitting down in the car. He's 6'11", right at 7 feet, right? So I mean, you know, it's not like me.
Okay.
Well, has it
Hey
done?
guys, time out real quick. You gotta stop putting that down, cause that's boom. Also, I know you guys want to be free, and I would love for you, but when you move, your voice is just in an echo chamber,
Okay.
as opposed to right in front. Your mic isn't pointing right at you, so you would. Guys, try to hold, cause he's actually not making much movement. Try to hold your mics instead of them just sitting there.
Oh, good.
Unless you can keep it right in front of your face, cause.
I don't know if I want to stir that energy.
Okay. It
Yeah,
just
you have
makes
that
it.
energy.
You
How's
know what I
that?
like?
Hold
Are you picking this up?
I'm picking up something. I'm just trying to figure out what it is.
Check one.
Might be a
Oh, wait.
heartbeat. Might be
Is
a
this
heartbeat.
Yeah, it's somebody's rubbing something, but I also. Okay, wait. First of all, my ass was out just a little. I don't want to jump in, but I have to edit that out for real. Okay.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Crap.
They don't turn nothing down.
Hey,
Crackology. Crackology.
TikTok.
Wait, save it for the show. Are we?
You're still
we're
rolling. Go ahead.
oh,
Go ahead. You can talk.
TikTok. So,
Don't
you know,
stop.
You
Yeah, it
don't
is
stop
messed up,
with
but-
the TikTok.
right. Well, they're trying to get rid of it
Why wouldn't they?
because the Chinese are spying on us with
you
TikTok.
know what?
I saw
I'm
a
getting
1 year
tired of
old
this
on
Chinese
top of the
first
bunk
time.
bed.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
they're spying.
My 1 year old
I mean-
grandson was on top of the bunk bed twerking.
Well, that's because he's seeing that on that interweb thing.
That's a TikTok, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's where
There's a
TikTok.
TikTok twerk.
There's a
That's where
that's where they're
there's a
picking
bunch
it
of
all
people
up.
on
The kids
TikTok
are,
twerking.
the young ones are really catching on to the TikTok. So they'll go on there and do the dances and everything, and then like the 8, 9-year-olds are picking up words from the rap game in there.
Well, of course.
Well, so
And eventually, you're gonna have some 10 and 12-year-old Cardi B's running around out there
Hey,
trying to get it through grade school, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna
It'd be
imitate.
too sharp.
They're gonna imitate what they see.
Well, yeah, but you know,
And, you know.
somehow we gotta make them separate real learning from incidental contact with what is supposed to be intelligence out there. You know.
Yeah, well,
Old school.
So
You know.
It's the only shot you got. It's old school.
But, you
So
know,
how-
they probably
how
ain't
is
gonna
that
want
so?
to pick up pencil and paper like us.
how is that so?
Well, because you're taking your kids out of their social environment
Yeah.
where they're being influenced.
You are.
Every kid wants to be cool. No kid wants to be.
No,
the
left
uncool
behind.
guy.
You don't want to be
Yeah,
left
even
behind.
after a while, you get used to sugar bear. I mean, at first it's like sugar bear,
Sugar bear.
but then after a while, it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
am the sugar
but-
bear.
Okay, let's-
I show up when you don't expect
Oh,
me
shaky boo.
shaky that.
to.
Okay.
Shaky boo.
Since
So,
he-
so does that mean you're afraid of ghosts?
No, it means I show up when you don't expect me to.
Ooh.
Boo.
Oh, wow.
saying,
Yeah.
That
For
was
a Marine, that's
yeah.
a spook.
Yeah.
And
That
the
was-
Marines,
that
that's
was-
a spook.
Right.
that was his DJ name.
Right.
No, that was my Marine Corps.
Since
That was my, that was
Since he
my,
wasn't
what
tall
they call
enough
it,
to guard the
code
president,
name.
he decided
That
to
was
be a
my
DJ.
code name in the Marines, Shaky Boo.
Yeah.
How long was you in the Marines?
2.5.
I knew it was something.
I went in for 4 though.
Yeah, I knew
I
it was
got
something.
lucky and got out early because a black man can't shave. But I can bumps coming all up on his face and everything. And that was against Marine Corps profile.
You can't
They
have
want
beard.
clean shaved,
Yeah.
that whole look and
High and
everything.
tight.
Mhm.
The Army thought they had me for foe.
You almost went in the army? You gonna be a doggy?
One day.
No, he went to go at least 3 times.
So did Drone.
No, but he went to go
He
at
went to
least
go.
3 times. They sent him letters
Oh,
and
they gave him a
stuff.
4F?
And no, but every time we give him a party, he'd be back. And
They
were
sent him a
pissed.
going away for.
it was like, damn. But those were the years where, you know, we just liked to party, so it wasn't that big a deal outside of the.
Yeah, it was just a little extra. Hey, let's get an extra quart because Gary's leaving tomorrow, whatever.
Right. So we'd be
All
partying.
right. Go ahead and try the intro again. You guys have to forgive me. I'm still trying to work out this stuff. But go
New
ahead.
equipment.
Not a problem.
Okay.
5, 4, 3.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good wherever you are. Welcome to another excellent episode of Old Black Man Conversations. I'm your co-host, David H. Dudley III, aka Sunny D, aka Cakey, aka Nice Guy. And you are?
A nice guy also. I'm the real Cliff Barnes. Well, yeah. You know, I
That's
always
another
have
one.
been. And you, sir?
Well, I'm following 2 nice guys today, but I'm keeping it real. I'm Gary Green, street philosopher at your service. I want you to get your book of Clintons out because when we close, I have some Clinton P-Funk verses for you to study for next week.
Buck off. I'm Jake the Snake, Boy Wonder, aka Shaky Boo OZ. For those who know me, I show up when you don't expect me to.
There you go.
Boy Wonder. Still doing that thing. So that same old thing I used to do.
Yeah.
Get in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I get in trouble all the time.
There was a lot of that going on.
Now I know where I know you from. 45s, kids, well, ask your grand folks what 45s are, but we used to play 45s. And 45s would have the hit record on the front side,
Yeah.
and it would have some music on the B side.
No,
My brother Shaky Jake convinced me more than once that the songs on the B side were the real
wrong.
hits.
And they were actually.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one in particular, Sly and the Family Stone,
Sing a simple song on the other
on
side.
the other side of
Everyday people?
Everyday People.
That's
Everyday
right.
People was
That's
supposed to be the A side,
Yeah.
but Sing a Simple Song was like,
Well,
oh, we like this much better.
I know, but you can't take Inagata Davida on the A side, flip it over, and say the B side is the A side. Thanks, Jake. You had me believing that.
Wow. You were good,
Because
dude.
No, he was good.
you could always put on the slow side, you know, and then you had the fast side.
Right.
Even what was our song? Summertime. Remember we used to play.
Summertime. Which
Yeah.
one?
Fun in the
Take it.
summertime.
Yeah, we take it
Yeah.
off the 45 and put it on 33, so the record would be longer, and you could grow with the chick longer and shit. Yeah. It worked, man.
You just screwing with somebody who drops some acid. Like,
That's true.
Let's not talk about it.
you
Let's not talk about that.
No, what is,
I wish I.
You had
Who
been
turned me on
scratched.
that? Skeeter. Skeeter turned me on to that.
Skeeter?
You remember Skeeter?
Eagle.
No.
You
No.
don't remember from he-
Anybody remember Skeeter?
Super. He went to Franklin.
Skeeter.
He was a year.
Skeeter?
He was a year behind. Matter of fact, he had to do extra grades.
Was he a year behind you?
You behind y'all. 'Cause
Well,
y'all
yeah.
was a '68 crew, right?
Yeah.
I'm
He's
69.
69.
I'm trying to remember Skeeter.
Skeeter,
Yeah.
Skeeter was there when I was there. That's '69.
What
Alright.
What'd he do?
Skeeter turned me on to that hit of acid. My first piece of acid.
Oh,
Oh,
no
my
wonder.
God.
No wonder. If you had acid, you were around Franklin, you weren't around a lot because you was kind of, you know.
Oh,
I
But
was
I'm trying
fine
to
after
remember
that
Skeeter.
first 13 hours. Shit.
was that his Witness Protection Day?
Man,
I-
I remember
apparently.
everything.
I don't remember his
Who lived
real
down
name.
underneath Jesse on Sturgis down there? I want to say Candace or something. Some dude lived down there.
Named Candace?
No, Steve Canada?
Oh,
Canada.
Yeah,
Canada.
right.
That's right.
I
I
see-
went
I
down
see
to his house
yeah.
on the shit because I didn't know what was happening quite sometimes, you know. 'Cause
So, okay.
they said I was having a good trip.
Well, of course.
And I know now from experience that was a good trip.
When,
The other shit that I had.
well, when you have
So-
a bad trip, it's usually because you took too much acid.
No, it probably means that it's still not meant for you,
And
period.
you're wrong- and
Yeah, it
you're-
was
and
the
you're-
wrong
and you're in the
drug.
wrong state of mind.
So how many trips you go on?
I probably did about 8 or 9.
Wow.
After the first one, the
Dude,
initial
that's nothing.
thing, you know.
I mean, it's not
The first
that
time
bad
is when
more.
you're worried about if you remember how to breathe and all that kind of shit.
I look. I've done it. Okay. I was up in an apartment above Sharon's with that crazy ass Robert anyway,
Yeah.
this brother was crazy, and I taken a quarter of a hit, and it was just starting to hit me, right? And he and I we were supposed to be going out to clubs.
Clippers.
So he's like, let's
so
go.
cute.
Let's go upstairs. I gotta get to that starter kid. So I'm up there, and it's starting to hit me, right? And he goes in, and he starts to water in his tub, right? And I thought, he's gonna try to kill me. So I said, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. And I went to go to leave, and the fucking door went.
Nope, no way out.
It's like on the cartoons, you pick a line and then the line
It makes that sound effects. Whoop.
That's when I
So the only way I got out of there was I sat there and said, okay, I'm gonna have to wait till he's done. I said, but if he tries to kill me,
Uh-huh.
I'll jump through the window or something.
Yeah,
So I spent the whole time going,
You had a plan.
I'm on an acid trip. This
That
is
shows you how strong the
I'm on an
mind
acid
is.
trip. I
It
mean,
was gonna figure a way out of
You had
it.
an exit strategy, and that's important.
Yeah, it was.
As long as the
His
window.
brain was strong enough to take him through that shit. Cause
yeah.
that man, I looked at shit in that stuff, man, and I seen warps. I seen the bubbles, the drips. See, and that's what nicknames
Yeah.
for what kind of trip you could be on. And there ain't none of them worse than the drip because everything you look at looks sad. You start
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
sad look. And you look at the light states there.
Fuck
Look
you
at the
talking
plants.
about?
The drips.
Doing everything like the walls are dripping. and
If I
stuff.
looked at that heart, it would just say,
That's weird.
Keep,
Okay,
you,
I'm
keep,
not
you got you
understanding
two.
this.
Keep your mics closer.
But
I'm not understanding this.
the drips. Oh man, you don't want them, man.
the walls, they would start waving, then they
It's-
start
it's-
dripping.
You drop some acid and then
Oh.
look at a Salvador Dali painting.
Right.
Forget it. Forget it.
Know that man you were talking about used to live up above here.
Yeah.
He fell in love with a sociology book on acid.
I remember that. day.
Because it was a big book like that, and then it was a above down view, and so all of these different candles or crayons were different colors, and so it kind of rainbowed out.
I actually remember that.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, can I keep this book? And he tripped on that book all evening. And I don't know.
That was one reason why I felt guilty. Because back then we pushed a lot of that, free love, free, you got mind, you expand your mind,
Free
and all
will,
that,
free your mind.
stuff like that. But
And your ass will fall.
we didn't really concentrate on what made us quit that shit, because if we could push that idea to these kids nowadays, that could curb some of the problems they're gonna face, because that shit is out there so strong now to where there's nowhere they're gonna go and not be introduced.
Well,
to this shit.
I think the problem is they're getting the shit quicker.
Yeah,
Well,
they're getting
and
it
then-
quicker, but they're not in the forums and stuff
No,
with
but
it. They're
the
just
thing-
getting it
the
and trying it.
is, they
They're
were
running
talking-
off and going crazy and
But they
stuff.
were talking about how everything got fentanyl in it.
Mhm.
But now, people are smoking and taking straight fentanyl. And instead of trying to get the kids to, here's an idea, don't take pills that aren't prescribed
Yeah.
for you.
Exactly.
Instead of telling everybody,
The
well,
strongest mind is
well,
always
well,
going to be the one that is drug free.
instead of
The
telling
strongest
everybody,
mind is
well,
going to be the one that is
he's
drug
passed
free.
out.
The best
'cause-
athlete
yeah.
is going to be the one that is drug free.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not trying to
Achieve that.
stop them or
Right,
make
I-
them not take it. They're teaching you how they know that you're gonna pass out, so they teach people how to bring you back.
That's right. There's
They
binge
ain't
drinking
all
and
that.
Right.
binge drinking. Remember, we did
Yeah.
all that shit.
Right,
But we
right.
did it in a more of a forum. That
I
there'd be a
think,
group of
again,
us.
We were more.
Again, I think
We were more
I
in
think the
moderation.
issue is
Yeah.
they're getting access too quickly.
Well, yeah,
Because we or our children or our children's children
Uh-huh.
don't have the opportunity to at least give some information out because it's happening so fast.
but the information's coming out so
But
fast.
y'all know in the
We
drug
had
scene, you have to
somewhere-
experience that shit with somebody when they're doing that.
Right, yeah.
When you're going to try to pass information back and forth. We've stood in groups of 5, 6, 7, 8,
Right.
all kind of different minds interjecting stuff, and it was keeping us pretty much
We saw-
rooted,
we
grounded,
saw-
We had
you know?
male figures in our lives
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
and we had respect,
Right.
family respect. You
Right.
military.
These kids aren't getting it. They're just
Support group.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
romper room and here's some drugs. Go build that Lego into something. Forget that Lego. That's too much work.
I think a lot of this started when liberals and psychologists determined you can't hit your kid with a switch, or you can't spank you can't do
You can't
corporal
chastise
punishment.
them. You can't chastise them.
And, oh, by the way, kids, here's an 800 number.
Uh-huh.
So if they hit you or whatever, you call this 800 number, and we will keep the conversation private. We won't even.
Pause. You saw the new batteries I just put in there?
Yeah, ate
They're
them up.
gone.
Just,
Ate them up.
It might. It could be the power they're draining too, though. Because when I'm on the VR, I know it draining some strong power.
No,
but
but
you're
you
talking
have-
about draining power of 4
Yeah,
microphones.
but first of all,
These
those are not
4
like
microphones plus.
like top line batteries,
Uh-huh.
and you don't know how long they've been sitting around before
Yeah.
they got on the
You have
shelf
an AC adapter.
at the $1.25.
Might.
That might be the answer.
I don't have any problems with mine. I know when I done had a bad batch though, because they do.
You know,
drain.
you
It's alright. You guys can keep going with the show. You put the
You know,
mics down.
It's just like,
Just keep talking.
You go in there for $1.25, I get 8 batteries, right? So
Right.
I need AA, so I get 2 packs.
Right.
That's 16 batteries. You know, what's the odds of every 2 you put in there being bunk? You know,
Well, like I said, you don't know how old they are.
I don't.
So,
and they
or-
also,
or you don't even know how long they've been sitting on this shelf.
But every one I
in
put in
the
my
$1.25
VR,
store.
it tells you, it'll
and
register
they'll-
it and tell you.
If you actually look at them, they also give an expiration date.
Yeah, they're
But the ones I've seen, like 10 years out. So I'm like, if this battery doesn't last 10 years, then I can take it back to where I
You want that
go.
lifetime guarantee.
Oh, no, that's just a shelf life, I guess, huh? They're just saying.
well. I
It might need to be
So
sold
leave them
by
on the
then.
shelf, don't use them, and then stop bitching.
I don't know what they're gonna do, man, because they're switching to that lithium battery now.
Yeah,
and they
everything.
blow up like that Tesla.
Man, don't say that.
on the news.
For-
Everything in my house is lithium battery
Yeah, I
powered.
I know everything's gonna be going
Including your
on.
car.
Yeah.
Lithium battery is bad.
Yeah, did you see
Oh, my
what
bad.
they had one?
Paying
Yeah,
attention.
They had one in Bellevue.
Oh, they
and
burned it up.
It was one of the newer, the truck-looking ones,
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
doors that go up like that.
Oh,
Alright, you guys
yeah.
can get back on the mic.
It was one of them.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it crashed and then it rolled over
and
and
burned.
caught fire.
And
Yeah.
then
And the fire person that they were interviewing, the PR person for the fire department, I guess he said,
we can't
Yeah.
fight it.
them lithium batteries, they burn hotter and they burn longer.
Yeah.
So it's like
and you have to use way more water.
Yeah.
so the technology is it's already saying that, you know, they don't even know how they're gonna be dealing with this new technology out here for what shit might happen when it goes off.
Well,
on
you
us.
got to figure out what not to do so it won't explode.
Well,
They should have
first of
been
all,
using.
don't overcharge
They need
it. That's the first
more
thing.
fire engines with foam machines on them. You know.
Yeah, but then the foam pollutes the groundwater.
No, well, they gotta work that chemistry out.
Don't have the fires, see?
Huh?
There you go.
You're blaming
No,
the victim.
no, it could be electrical. It could be lightning bolt out the sky or some shit. You know. I mean, well, that's what they're gonna try to say. You know, they're either gonna attack the engineers at the dealership,
No,
or
but
they're gonna
there's-
say the
there's-
passenger didn't
there's
do
been
something right.
cases-
You know?
There's been cases where they just caught fire for no apparent reason. Now I think they have
Yeah.
got that straight, but
Yeah, I
back
don't
in the
trust
day
them,
when they
period.
first did, they were
And the
just
car you tell me is gonna be driving me around and I ain't gotta be behind the wheel, forget it, man.
Well-
I can't fix it if the battery dead, forget it.
no.
That's
But the thing is, they drive themselves.
You trust it, autonomous
I'm not
cars?
Hell no.
Oh,
I ain't
I
having it.
would never.
If I call a
Just
taxi
like
and it
that
drives
fire,
up by itself, I'm not getting in that.
Yeah.
sucker.
think if it's a short and you on the freeway.
yeah, because if a self-driving car rolls up on you
What are you supposed to do?
and an arm reaches out, grabs you, throw you in the back seat, it takes you somewhere you can't even describe.
What happened?
Well, it was a mechanical arm. What did he look like? He was gray, and no,
Kind of silver, and it clicked.
yeah, yeah.
A robotic hand.
I suppose they flip off for officer driving by or something.
Okay,
No.
so
Because AI then took over and decided that, hey, you
I have a
wanted that
confession.
done.
But
you know?
not, but no. Wait a
Uh-oh,
minute.
two confessions.
I have a confession. I got to get it out of my system. You're the first hearing this. I've never told this to anybody,
What's
since we were talking about recreational psychedelic drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I took some window pane once, not a lot.
Yeah, well, that was
Don't have to be a lot.
I got an Etch-a-Sketch.
yeah. I wouldn't have been trying to do
You know
that
what?
sketch.
And you know, you talk about forgetting how to breathe.
Yeah,
I sneezed, but I couldn't remember if I needed to breathe in or breathe out.
that's what happens. That's
So-
that it confuses you.
Yeah.
That's all.
You
It
guys
just
don't try what I. No,
Yeah,
you guys,
it
I don't,
messed me
don't,
up.
don't put that on TikTok.
It messed me up one time. I said, that was an outer. This is it. I was done.
Start giving yourself.
I said,
Y'all be having dangerous thoughts.
no,
I
man.
don't ever recall not remembering how to breathe.
My dad said it was.
Oh, I remember.
Thank God.
I remember.
He said the devil's a trickster. He
Wow.
says, you know, if he can trick you into hurting yourself or killing yourself or something like that, or doing something purely evil or something, he's gonna try to do that and stuff.
Well, yeah.
And there's people out there that are using that to their advantage to keep us,
For
you know,
sure.
keep us down like that, you know.
With all the money in the world, why is anybody hungry on this planet?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, why is anybody?
Or even better thought is, in this city where we, as 4, 5 black men, are sitting around in a pretty good area,
Uh-huh.
making a podcast, why in the hell are there people down the street, across the freeway, downtown, in the suburbs, that are not only homeless but have no food? Why is that? Yet we are sending aid to you, motherfucking Crane.
Because
Why?
somewhere in there, I think the people themselves, like that, your mind will just say, hey, all you gotta do is this.
Well, there are some psychologists believe that when you have a baby,
Mm-hmm.
let them crawl around on the floor. Let
Yeah,
them eat food off the floor. to
let them
build up
find out.
their immune system early in life.
That's
Where
right.
do you think the 5-second rule came from?
I don't know, but
Baby
I cut it
crawl
real
on the
close
floor.
the other day. I rolled it back. No, that wasn't 5. I went 6 here. I'll be.
Oh, it's just an M&M, man.
Come on, yeah, you know, always.
And I think, you know, that's another thing I noticed about our group is that when we were coming up, we were always looking for ideas to make the world better.
Better. Right. Right.
We was trying to figure out-
But then we come down and forget them.
No, I don't think we forgot them. I
Because
think
about the time
we,
we was
we
out,
knew
we
our
came up with a
limitations. We
bunch of
learned
good
our
shit.
limitations.
Not only that, but
you know,
but the very idea that we had these thoughts in mind, to me, a lot of it was going to come true, because now it's in your mind, and whether you know it unconsciously or not,
Right.
you're still trying to achieve
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah,
thought, that
yeah,
idea
yeah.
to make the world better. I mean,
but now it's
We
all
had the
about
advantage
dollars.
too, because
like,
we.
up until COVID hit, I was running a food program. I took the money out of my out of my pocket.
Either one, they're both your pockets.
It's all right.
But it was still the idea that, I don't know, but maybe somebody that's getting this will do better tomorrow. I don't have to know about it.
Sure.
Just,
Right,
I mean, you know,
Right.
It's
But
like
I-
trying to figure out what was the point of where we lost faith. Where did we really lose faith in that? That is rewarded. Your good deeds to another person is actually rewarded. You know, what made us stop believing that is still true today, you know? It was when maybe Teal or somebody got hung back south, something like
Yeah.
what? Or when did we stop believing that your good deeds aren't carried on, you know?
Well, some of us still believe, but there's a lot of things going on. We're older. We're not as vocal. And
I
it's-
think we consume too much of what's happening.
You
now.
still.
Yeah.
you can't,
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah, you can't help but you get some of it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to consume some of it and stuff like, but, and then they're going,
But
Jesse would say, how, you know, your actions afterwards, how you react to that. And stuff.
Yeah.
You know, what can you do if
But
everything is
it's hard
centered
not
around
to-
one thing right
you
now?
have
And that's
to-
the
Want
greed
to know what's going on.
and
But you have to do what you can do, and
Right.
you can't worry about
you
the
can't
stuff.
tarry from that.
You can't
tarry
worry
from
about
that.
stuff you have no control over.
Just try and be a role model.
You know?
Or,
I don't have-
or,
you know,
or
I think we have to turn into more like superheroes.
Yeah, well,
You know, I think life has gave us the experience and the knowledge to advance those that are younger than us. And I don't never want to.
Well,
This
sure.
thing about this disrespect that's going on out there, it has to be trained. It has to be moderated better. You know, and in order to do that, you don't have to be built like rock or more to make them understand that, you know, and you don't have to be like Jesse James or the Young Guns to make them understand that. There's something we have to learn to pass to them that used to come from us. So when we look at somebody and say, you know, we know they're hurt, you know, or they're thinking about a certain, we have to get stronger about being able to project that to them so they can see the benefits that comes with it afterwards. Right now, they don't see benefits that come
do
from
it the
that.
way you live. That's what I do. I try to live the right way.
You want them to live by example,
and let
then.
them see. You
They're
know,
not going to
because
accept that.
but that's
adults
just,
are hypocrites. I
but
mean,
that, exactly.
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, kids get
Talk out
tired.
of both
They
sides.
get tired of hearing that bullshit.
Yeah.
Why should I believe you, old man?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly, exactly.
So-
They're going to go a different route. We just got to get smarter
Yeah.
about beating them to that point.
Your mic is just laying here and you talking up here.
But you know, we gotta learn to get to that point that they're trying to get to. I think somewhere in there, we all either got spooked and didn't want to try no more, or we felt like we'd be going back to our old ways that we were getting away from and stuff. But
Hey.
they're not going that much further. They can't. They don't have the knowledge to go much further than that. So we just gotta start beating them to the punch more.
I agree with that,
Mm.
but I also think
Yeah.
that now my greatest teacher
Uh-huh.
was experience.
Exactly.
If you don't experience it, it don't mean shit to you.
And well, then the kids are saying the same thing. But I'm thinking more like they, not Gestapo, but that thing about Japan, them kids coming out of high school and don't have a clue in their brain about what they're gonna do. Hey, 6 months in the military, bam. Let's get that orderly, that lack
The
of
military,
Yeah,
the military ain't for everybody.
no, it ain't. It ain't. But
So,
I've
I mean-
never seen. I only seen one person fail it, and that's because he was mentally unable to do this shit. You know. But everybody I seen go in the Marines in the first 13 weeks, you condition yourself to survive even that, and
Well, of
and it
course.
only makes you better because you come out, you got respect, you got discipline,
And a
to
really
where
nice
organization, all those skills that are really needed in you, you got it, man, and they give it to you to where it's almost what's that shit we were talking about, the OCP or whatever, COP.
OCD? Is that what it is? OCD? Is it,
I'm thinking that, hey,
Obsessive
that's something that comes with you in time
compulsive
where you just want things
OCD?
to
Oh,
be
OCD,
exactly where you want them,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
No, man.
Well,
It's
you
where
know.
you need them, you know? I always tell my old lady that, I said, only reason I put things in certain places and stuff like that, because I want to be able to find them in the dark.
Well,
Just that simple. It's that simple.
that'll work.
And you know what's safe and what's not safe, you know?
I think y'all's weed is too strong. That's what. I gave up smoking for. I used to.
Well, don't let us
I had a
encourage
bottle
you,
there.
man. You know, don't
But
let us
I
encourage you
gave
to
it
go
up.
back,
No,
man.
I'm keeping it real. Keeping it real.
I'm being honest about it. I was just saying that.
I gave
I
up too.
think there's some
Pass.
organizational skills
Yeah.
that are needed in children and stuff, and that thing, only place we
But
can
they
really
got,
chastise them.
but
The
it's like
spankings
anything
come
else.
with it, man.
They
Clean
gotta
your
grow
room.
into it.
Pop.
Take out this garbage.
Everybody,
Oh.
we're gonna do a mic training. Okay.
You know what I'm
They have to
saying?
grow into it though. I mean, you can't just,
Yeah, you can too install that into them as they're coming up, you know. But
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
if
do
there's-
it early, and
But
you
if
gotta
there's
do it. early.
nobody to do that, if they run in the streets because they're in a single parent home, and then if the mom's working 2 jobs, so she's
Exactly.
not gonna be at home at night, so they can run the street. And there's so many of them, they can all get together and run the street together and get into
So what
way
did
too much
we do?
trouble.
Why didn't we have that plan covered, man? You know, somewhere in there we had everything else covered. From having a baby to, you know, too young and all that. We stayed ahead
That's
of
still
this.
happening?
You know,
I mean,
That's
you
still
know what? You
happening.
know what? In reality,
Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
when I look back on it, I know my kids, him, my daughter. Guess who they grew up with?
Jimi Hendrix.
No, his daughter.
Oh yeah, I know. I know.
I mean-
Felicia.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
So all our kids-
I think in that aspect, they were shown, or they were given good examples. They weren't pushed very much.
But were they, man?
but,
Were they really giving good examples?
Well, yeah,
Well, the
because
examples was us.
Because right, and most of the time, we were 2-parent households.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
but I'm
we
saying
were
like when
around
things,
to
I know,
raise our kids.
But what was it with us? You know, when something went really right for them, for us, that meant something went right for them. You know, or did they understand how that was came to be? you
but
know?
all kids aren't like that.
Well,
We had community too.
You have, yeah. I mean, we did. We
We had community.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anybody in the neighborhood could chastise your
Yeah.
butt and you got out of line
Yeah.
and take you home and get your ass kicked. Say,
And-
okay, yeah.
And in my kids' case, they were, I don't know if they were afraid to get chastised, but the opposite would happen. I would see parents going, boy, your kids are really great. You know, I mean, so I knew I had to be doing
But-
something right.
well, yeah,
No,
exactly.
but the thing is,
Like he said,
in-
a lot of we had a lot of parents.
in my case, and probably in all our cases, we knew a lot of
I
people.
don't think she closed it when she left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, she never. She
I'm glad you said
She
that.
locks it, but if you unlock it, it'll just open because she never
You
closed
seen
it.
them shadow people I was talking
I
about?
don't think- Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
okay.
but-
Yeah, there we go.
But the thing is,
Yeah, I believe it in my heart now, man. I believe it. Them shadow people for real, man.
shadow people. No, but the problem is, for them, we knew a whole lot of people. We had that sense of community.
Yeah.
So it's like, my kids would go, everywhere we went, I know somebody or somebody
Yeah.
would know me.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So-
so, you know, they get on the
Where did we
bus.
lose that though?
They get on the bus and people's like, hey, how you doing, Cliff? Who
I know.
are you? Oh, it's Uncle James. You know, riding the bus, you know, so they taking care. And so that was the whole thing. Now, people have so many different ways of dividing themselves,
From that.
and
being
especially,
separatists. Yeah.
well, no, it's cultural.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the kids hang together because that group of kids is going to mess with them individually, so they form a group, a gang. And I mean, it's like in the South End, when you have an area where over 100 different languages, not dialects, languages are spoken, people can't communicate as easily as we could when we lived in the neighborhood and everybody was from America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference. And then, and like I said, all the kids aren't like that. You have a lot of kids that are doing hella good things. A lot of kids that are, you know, helping their community and you know,
Learning
academics,
Yeah, learning
the whole
to
thing,
keep that
sports,
communication line open.
something
Yeah,
to keep them off the streets. But the kids that don't have that, they hanging out in the streets, and they're stealing guns evidently, because every time they say,
I'm trying
yeah,
to
we
figure
got
that out.
this,
How much
we
freedom
got
did
this
we give
person
them
has a
in the
stolen
street?
gun.
I remember one in St. Louis, Missouri, man.
Please.
You know, I think this one boy, the young kid, was, you know, just got out of line in the neighborhood and stuff like that. Well, eventually, they found him hung up on a pole in the middle of the neighborhood, you know, to send a message to all the other kids, you know, this
but-
is how, where we don't go. This is the direction
Right.
we don't travel.
But the whole thing is, you know, you don't have that, we didn't have that division,
Exactly.
you know, and then also, there's a lot more, it was a lot more territorial back east and down south and
Yeah,
in the
true.
Midwest
True.
than it is here.
Exactly.
Because, you know, now it's much more territorial along cultural lines.
Yeah.
But the whole thing was, you know, it's like if you live in this part of the project, you're gonna have to know somebody to go to that part of the project, or else you shouldn't be in that part of the project, because
Exactly.
bad things can happen.
And we don't have.
You know? And then I came to Seattle.
How
and
do we fix it,
the
man?
projects had the
I mean,
best view
how
on the
do we
planet.
really fix it? You know, how do we strive to fix that thing? You know, because evidently politics ain't working.
No, but politics
never work.
Politics never-
It works
never
for the
worked.
rich, it always has, it always will.
Yeah, I'm just what I'm
Politics
seeing.
work for
Like
the
the
rich.
upper middle class and
Yeah.
up, you know, it's fine, but police is fine in that level, you know, and up, you know, but
Man, there's good and bad everywhere we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter what kind of, it doesn't
But I
matter what
want,
kind
in
of
my
person.
lifetime, I want to conquer that
You know,
barbarism.
well-
thing, man.
Well-
To where we had no other choice but to harm each other. And they saying, oh, that goes back to Cain and Abel or 2001 Space Odyssey
No,
or
but
some shit, you know.
Another thing, I think a lot of people are having mental problems because they spent too much time with their damn self during COVID isolation.
Well,
you
we
spend
know
a
that.
lot-
That was part of, what's his name, the doctor said that.
Fauci?
That was a symptom.
Dre,
Yeah. Yeah, that was a symptom. You know,
Phil? Which doctor we talking about? Oh, Fauci. Yeah.
Fauci. Yeah, he said that was a symptom. You
No,
know?
but it's true. I mean,
But if
a
that's a
lot of
symptom,
people, a lot of
then
people should not
suicide
spend
is
time
also a
by
symptom.
themselves.
unlike
Well,
what,
we already know that, but then we're going to
Jason
build
Curry says,
penitentiaries
but you
and
said people should
jailhouses
still
and then incarcerate
time
the
their
young
own
ones that
Yeah.
can be,
Yeah.
you know, changed like that. You know, they're, you
No,
know,
but it's like prisoners. Now they're saying, okay, we're going to stop putting prisoners in solitary confinement as much.
Yeah.
They didn't say they were going to cut it out,
Right,
but
right.
they still. But that's the thing. If you're alone with your thoughts for
too long.
a year, and you
belong
don't,
to your thoughts
and,
for a day.
and you can't interact with other people, the dark side of your mind could possibly take over.
Well,
Because everybody
Who's
has
ever
a dark
strongest?
side and a front side of their mind.
Whatever strongest in that person's nature is going to take over. True of that.
But you know, actually, isolation goes further, it goes way back. Now, I'll give you an example. When we were young, we'd go outside and play. We'd play team stuff. I remember when Nintendo and that stuff came out. When they first came out, only one person could play at a time,
yeah.
right? So the kids, one person's playing,
And
the other
y'all
kids
take turns.
are fighting over who's next.
Right.
And the youngest ones never got to play much because they weren't good at it. So that was a part of the isolation.
Oh yeah.
And we don't think about it that way, but we've been self-isolating ourselves for years.
That's what I'm trying to say, man.
But yes,
Somewhere in
that's what I'm
there, I don't know. I maybe I'm the only one that feels guilty about it. You know,
You
'Cause
are.
somewhere in there, we stopped trying to better. You know,
I don't
what-
think we
I
stopped
don't
trying.
think we stopped at all.
I think we did, man.
I sometimes
That's- you know why that is? You know why
even
that is?
what's it?
'Cause he's
Busted,
been
you know,
isolated.
backing out of half.
Oh.
that shit.
Yeah, but see, you
Yeah,
was
yeah.
isolated
I like isolated myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had to though, because everybody saw me only as an entertainer. You know, that's like being only a comedian. Kevin Hart just did a little thing on that, but it was being only an entertainer means I had no fulfillment to myself. All my fulfillment would be to everyone else.
But it always
And
has to be
Hollywood
about you
is
first.
now starting to represent everything I saw back then that made me tell myself I could no longer play this music this way. I cannot perform for money. I can perform for fun, for
What?
good feeling.
I can't-
perform
Crazy talk.
for money
I can
because
tell
the
jokes
gift,
for money
the
all
gift
night.
was given freely to me
Tell you what,
to be able to show that talent.
You know, I
You know,
understand.
tell you what,
you know, it wasn't something I was born with. I wasn't born to be no drummer, man. I wasn't born to be sitting in the back of the band while all the guys in the front catch all the good girls. I'm just sitting back there driving this machine.
What bands was you in? The drummers used to, never mind. Anyway.
yeah, 'cause
That's what all the drummers did, man.
Huh?
A lot of them are, if you talk to Stevie Banks or any of them right now and see what they're doing now. They either
were
softened up so much.
They're doing their day jobs.
You know, they softened up so much because we learned as a drummer, when the only thing you are is like the engine. You're the beat,
What
which
about-
is all the kids have left now is
What
a
about-
beat and a bass.
What about Buddy Miles?
Huh? A beat and a bass.
He sang.
Huh?
He was a
He was a
front man.
lousy singer, man. He
It
was the
don't
worst
matter.
singer ever out there.
It doesn't matter. It
He
doesn't
was
matter.
the worst singer ever to kick
What about
B.O.S. nigga like that.
what's the white Phil Collins?
Phil Collins said, he told you up front. He said, I never could sing. They told me I could.
And he did. And he made
No,
hits, but
he got
but-
produced to
but
be
the
able to
whole-
sound like he could
But
sing.
the whole thing is
Yeah.
the fact that he was coordinated enough to play drums and sing. It's just like most people with their instruments. It's hard to play. It's like, hey, you just got
to sing it.
you just got to get out there and do what makes you happy. You can't sit back
Well, at
and
the
dwell on the
time-
negative.
At that time, the idea of stardom and all that, yeah, that kind of made me feel a little happy. But as I got into the music world of what these saxophone players were trying to blow back at us and stuff, like Coltrane and Miles Davis and all of them, what they were actually hearing and stuff, start keeping me too in tune to what people's emotions were about. And that's the part that started drawing me in to where it wasn't a good performance unless I knew I made you feel better. If I knew I made you feel better. It was a lousy performance if it was anything less than that. If there was somebody in the audience not having a bad day, I damn near focused all our emotion that way, you know, to
Now,
make it work. And then you start
Ladies
learning
and
things
gentlemen.
about the business aspect of it, and it told you, hey, only way you can do this job is if you're willing to make sacrifices beyond your self.
ladies and
you know?
gentlemen, this
I had it.
is an example of how Jake and I,
Uh-huh.
aka Boy Wonder, we would be over at the crib. Music would be going, and he'd be taking off different types of music, different genres, and talking just like he's just been talking. And I just get deeper and deeper into it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the guy that played gospel music that I hated, that he turned me on to artists, and he turned me on to things about the music that I came out. I haven't been singing anything gospel for years now.
I mean, you gotta
And-
think
and,
about
and
it.
that influence came
In the
from this
gospel,
man.
what was a soothsayer? What was a soothsayer? Do you know what that is? That's I think they depicted one time in one of the Jesus movies where a woman comes into town, but she was like the newspaper boy. She come into town, play her little strum instrument, and tell the people what's going on across the land and stuff. You know, and
No, that's like the
It
town
wasn't-
crier.
you know, it was never about talent.
They didn't have
Who had to be the best drummer? Who had to be the, the competition wasn't there. You know, this was like a God's gift, and He gave you the talent to be able to say something that other people would accept.
5 minutes.
You know, they would open their ears. They would open their ears to it.
But it's human nature to compete.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is.
No, I don't think so.
I've seen people compete
I mean,
on
I
every
think,
kind.
I mean,
of
I seen them compete from the family lifestyle of going up. You know, who's the quickest, who's the fastest, and all that. You know, but
That's competing.
when
competition.
when music went that route to where it's just competition and stuff, a lot of the true feeling of music disappeared. You didn't need it no more. Hey, I could punch a button. Yeah, you can make this beat for
Because
me.
You know what? I agree with you. I agree with you. I think the soul,
the soul of
has
the
left
Yeah.
it left.
a lot of the music today.
Because
And I didn't want to lose that. I didn't want to lose that part of it because that's the part that actually made me happy.
they recorded stuff that they could sell.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about coming
With
from
me,
the
it
heart or
wasn't.
whatever. And it's not necessarily the musicians. It's the people that handle them. The
I
record
said the
companies.
industry. Once the industry got
So
involved,
if
they're
it's
gonna make you
not-
commit to things. There's more tragedy in that music industry
If
right
they
now
can't,
than
if they can't sell it, they don't want to hear it.
they'll sell it when you're dead.
They'll sell it. They'll sell it as much as they can while you're alive. Too.
Exactly.
I mean, you know.
I am not gonna be that slave. I never was gonna be that slave again.
But the whole thing is, on a personal level, I'm not gonna be that slave. I don't want to work for these people or whatever, you know. But I did what I did or what I do for me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But me too, and I still want to be paid. That was the part I want to be paid.
I want
I'll tell jokes all
suppose
night.
that's not the true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Suppose that's not the true reward of being able to do that talent.
But that's not my
That's not the
motivation.
one God gave you.
But that's not my motivation.
It's-
Well, that's
The
what I'm
reward-
saying.
No, but I don't do it to make money. I don't do it to I mean, I did it to make money. I supported myself
It was
doing it.
recognized it could. Yeah.
But that wasn't my main motivation.
And I got in with a bunch of musicians to where that was their only motivation.
Money, yeah.
I mean, that's.
Of course.
I feel like as a musician, that's a valid. Just because we get into, especially if you're a musician who is a full-time musician and not have a record deal or anything, you're obviously in love with this. That's why you're doing it. But in order to do it, I need you to pay me for the risk and the talent, the risk I'm taking, the talent I have. And that don't mean I won't do free stuff because that's what the internet's for.
I mean,
upload a video, it's free. Watch it.
But I'm
They
saying,
do all kinds of free
back
stuff.
then, when we
charity,
was coming up-
charity work,
when we were
everything.
coming up, you realize that when we were coming up, there were great musicians in the world. I mean,
There's not as many
innovators
anymore.
of the art actually were still. You know,
That many.
Okay.
no, there ain't them. There probably ain't
There ain't
but
that
one
many
or
now.
two, if any, left.
I'll give you a bowling analogy. What you're talking about, the money.
Uh huh.
When you bowl, you don't bowl for a strike. You bowl to throw the ball correctly,
Uh-huh.
and the strikes automatically come.
Exactly.
So with the music, like what you said, you play. When you're 5 years old, you're not holding your parents hostages for more Cheerios because you playing the drum. It was the love. That's where it started,
Yes,
and
exactly.
it grows from that.
And then once I realized that talent came from something beyond me, you know,
It came from somebody's
So
child.
I
do
chose
you-
God. I chose God.
Okay, so are you just to clarify because we're gonna have to wrap this up, but I think this is the good thing to talk on. So you're saying that because God gave you the talent, you don't feel right capitalizing on it?
Exactly.
Word. But God gives us everything, so what should we capitalize on?
I mean,
But no, it's not.
if it falls that way, if
but
it
we-
happens to fall that
but
way, so be it. But
we live in a
even
society.
that part will be
But-
God given
but
to
we
me,
live-
you know.
But we live in a society where we have to generate revenue.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, if we didn't, that'd be awesome.
And the thing is, if,
But
every-
then, you know,
if
we'd
everything
work.
was free and
We'd
everybody
work.
could,
You know,
could
we'd
show
work.
their talent
We'd do a job.
for free and you
We
could
do a
see
job.
it,
I
you know?
would never make entertainment my only option.
Ooh, well, I did a year and a half ago, and it's been all right. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, I mean, when I was young, there wasn't much more ahead of that, you know, because I wasn't thinking like I could be an electronic engineer tech. I ended up being that, you know. You know, I never thought that I could work on computers and defibrillators and stuff like that. I never thought that in high school my best subject was biology, you know.
Well, I thought it was.
I mean, you know, it's just
Okay,
I thought it was,
avenues
thought it
we
was
take.
anatomy.
Okay, fellas,
Chasing
it's
girls.
about that time, looks like. Oh, boy, I'm gonna tell you, this has been a stimulating, exciting conversation we've had today. Thanks, Brother Jake,
Welcome.
Boy Wonder. Thanks, Brother Gary, Sugar Bear. And thanks to the real Cliff Barnes. And I'm
Regular man.
Sonny
Super D.
Dudley.
Super D. We call him Super D.
He call me Super D.
I'm gonna sneak this in here. You got your book of Clinton out? Here's your words for the week. Freedom is free of the need to feel free. Free your mind, and your ass will follow. The
Peace
kingdom
out.
of heaven is within.
Peace out.
We'll see you next time.
And we will see.
Oh, brother. Actually, y'all will see.